Imagine for a moment being caught in this impossible state, your whole being just stretched between absolute zero and, well, scorching, unbearable heat.
Hmm.
Now, picture battling not just, for survival, but for control of your own mind, your memories, your soul, really.
Yeah, that's intense.
Today, we're plunging headfirst into a narrative that explores exactly that extreme, pushing the limits of temperature, spirit, and profound sacrifice.
Right?
Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take complex, compelling narratives, we sort of stack them up, and then we pull out those vital insights, those aha
Mm.
moments, the
No
things
doubt.
that turn just wrong information into, well, knowledge you actually absorb. Our mission, as always, is to go beyond just the plot points.
Hmm.
We want to unravel the intricate layers, the science bits, the emotional stuff, the unique storytelling choices that make these tales just so captivating.
We've got quite a journey lined up today, haven't
Oh,
we?
yeah. We're dissecting the climax, the finale, of a fictional narrative called Sub-Zero Sisters, The Final Dive. It's from the Warmth podcast.
Right.
And this isn't just, a story. It's this meticulously crafted blend. You've got cosmic horror, some really fascinating scientific details woven in, and these incredibly deep human themes.
Absolutely. It's a real testament, I think, to how creative storytelling can leverage scientific concepts,
Mhm.
use them to really ramp up the stakes and the emotional hit.
Totally.
And what's really remarkable here, I think, is how the narrative weaves them together so intricately.
Right.
These scientific ideas, even though it's fiction.
Yeah, definitely within a fictional space.
And it connects them with these really personal human things,
Mhm.
struggles. It offers this rich tapestry for us to explore not just what happened, but the why behind its impactful and, frankly, unforgettable ending.
And the source material we have is great for this. It's a detailed transcript of the finale,
Mhm.
just overflowing with raw sensory details, powerful character dialogue. It's kind of a goldmine for understanding how all these elements come together to create such a powerful experience for anyone listening.
Exactly. It gives us a lot to work with.
Okay, so let's dig in then. Let's unpack this whole thing. We're starting right in the thick of it. Immediate aftermath of a crisis. Emma's just been dragged from this icy river.
Yeah.
And the source material, it just hits you instantly with these visceral details. You hear like bubbling water, a desperate gasp for breath,
Oh, yeah.
and that truly horrific sound, the sizzle of hot skin meeting icy cold. You can almost feel the steam.
You really can. It's an opening that just refuses to let you go.
Uh-huh.
Sets this incredibly intense, almost shocking tone right from the start.
For sure. And Emma's state, it's immediately shown as just profoundly compromised.
Yeah.
Terrifyingly so.
She's alive technically, but her consciousness is explicitly a battlefield.
Yeah.
The narrative tells us directly, I'm still alive, but the entity's inside me.
Wow.
It's not just a physical invasion, right? It's deep, internal, a violation striking right at her core identity.
And then it gets even more complex.
Exactly. Because then she says, Anna's here too, a ghost in my mind.
Yeah.
It just paints this picture of a body divided, a
Yeah.
living vessel hosting both this spiritual presence and this parasitic entity, an immediate, inescapable internal conflict.
Yeah, this internal battleground is just relentless, right from the get-go.
Mhm.
You have the entity side aggressive, fiery, manifesting, even roaring in Russian, ayas.
Which means burn, you're ours now. Like this.
Exactly. It's possessive, destructive, pure, chaotic energy trying to consume her.
Cold domination.
But then, almost miraculously, you have Anna's spirit acting as a direct counterforce, trying desperately to ground Emma.
How does she do that?
Anna tells her, remember Coney Island, the roller coaster. Hold on to that cold memory.
A cold memory. Interesting.
Yeah, it's like a spiritual anchor, a memory tied to cold, maybe the wind, the thrill, their shared past, actively fighting this overwhelming fiery thing. What a juxtaposition.
It really is. And what struck me most about how the narrative sets this up, this physiological, psychological battle, right from the outset, is its efficiency.
Yeah.
This immediate setup is just crucial for framing the story's core conflict, isn't it?
Yeah.
The entity is this consuming inferno, this foreign thing trying to override Emma.
Yeah.
And Anna is resistance, rooted in memory, connection, a cold memory, literally fighting fire with, well, internal coolness and love. It establishes this profound dualism, physical versus spiritual, heat versus cold, destruction versus preservation right away, creating this truly unique internal struggle that drives the whole finale.
It's not just a plot device then.
No, not at all. It's a deep dive into the very nature of consciousness under, well, extreme duress.
Yeah.
How the mind fights back.
So from that chaotic river scene, the story then shifts us. We're in a quarantine lab now.
Yeah.
More controlled maybe, but the stakes feel just as high.
Oh, definitely. The sounds change here, but they're just as impactful. You hear that rhythmic beeping, maybe a heart monitor.
Yeah, and the Geiger counters, that irregular specking sound. Chill.
Instantly. You understand, this isn't just about Emma anymore. It's critical, potentially catastrophic for everyone around her. Scientific observation, but under, like, almost apocalyptic pressure.
Exactly. And it's here that Dr. Volkova comes in, our sort of scientific guide through this.
Giving her critical observations through the protective glass, and what she reveals is, well, it's medically impossible, but absolutely crucial to the story's premise.
What does she see?
Emma's body temperature, it's not just high or low, it's fluctuating wildly, inexplicably, between, get this, minus 10 degrees Celsius and plus 60 degrees Celsius.
Minus 10 and 60. That's impossible for a living human.
Exactly. It hammers home that normal biological rules just don't apply here anymore. This isn't a fever, it's not hypothermia, it's a physical anomaly defying all known physiology. A clear mark of the entity's profound, unnatural influence.
And the entity isn't just in her vaguely. Volkova actually describes its plasma
as weaving through her organs. It gives it this chilling, almost scientific explanation for how pervasive it is, how parasitic. It's not just abstract evil, it's physically integrated, like some grotesque alien circulatory system. Makes removing it seem utterly impossible.
So how is Emma even surviving this?
Well, that's where Anna comes back in. What's particularly fascinating here is the introduction of Anna's spirit as a kind of containment field.
A containment field.
Yeah, Volkova uses this crucial metaphor, like ice around lava.
Ice around lava. Wow.
This is maybe the central conceptual anchor of the whole narrative, isn't it? Anna's spiritual presence isn't just a comforting memory, it's actively stopping the entity from completely consuming Emma.
So it's like a literal spiritual cold fighting the physical heat.
Precisely. It's a brilliant narrative move. It provides a tangible, almost thermodynamic explanation for how a spiritual force can combat a physical threat. Visualizing that internal struggle as a literal battle for thermal equilibrium inside Emma's body.
That's amazing. It suggests love and memory can be forces of actual physical preservation.
Exactly. And we see the physical manifestation of this internal conflict, too.
Yeah.
In a really dramatic, terrifying way.
How so?
The entity, even while it's contained inside Emma, lets out this powerful, destructive screech.
Just a sound.
No, it causes the quarantine glass itself to crack from thermal shock.
Whoa.
It's not just rage or pain. It's a physical release of its immense power, showing the immediate danger it poses, its volatility. This thing isn't just a presence, it's a force of nature, capable of extreme temperature manipulation, threatening to break out.
So the containment is already failing.
It seems compromised, yeah. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the entity's power over temperature and Anna's counter effect, it really suggests a deeper symbolic struggle.
Beyond just hot versus cold.
Right, like chaos versus order, consumption versus preservation. And the cracking glass, that symbol of scientific control, it becoming compromised, is the external sign of this internal impossible fight, threatening to spill out into the world.
It really raises questions about the limits of science when facing something truly.
Absolutely. Can you really contain something like that?
And then amidst all this chaos, this impossible battle, something truly unexpected happens. A revelation.
Right. Emma, or maybe it's the Emma entity fusion, blurts out this crucial information.
Even while struggling, unstable.
Yeah. This fused host reveals the VENERA-ZERO probe. It has a return capsule in the Brooklyn Museum vaults.
Hey, the entity reveals how to potentially stop itself.
It's a moment of profound irony, isn't it? Almost as if the entity, or maybe a desperate fragment of Emma still in there, is providing the key to its own undoing. This changes everything.
And Anna jumps on this immediately.
Yes, her spirit gives this clear directive. Use it, Irina. Send us back to Venus.
Venus. Wow. Okay, so that's the first mention of the ultimate destination, the solution.
Exactly. It crystallizes this seemingly impossible path forward. But like you said, it raises this huge narrative question. Why would the entity, this thing of pure destructive heat, reveal the capsule that could lead to its own demise?
That's what's so fascinating. I mean, is it subconscious? Is it Emma or Anna pushing through, overriding the entity?
Or maybe the entity's just so consumed by its own chaos it can't help itself. Maybe it thinks it's invincible anyway.
Or maybe it's just cosmic irony. The solution hidden inside the problem itself. The desperation is so palpable, any sliver of a solution, no matter how weird, becomes this beacon of hope.
Yeah.
It completely flips the script. suggests the path to salvation isn't external, it's literally carried within the heart of the crisis. Makes you wonder about the fusion, how much Emma is left.
It's a really sophisticated narrative choice
Right.
because the solution emerges organically from the problem, not some external deus ex machina.
Right, it reinforces the internal struggle as the main driver.
Exactly. The thing holding the entity also holds the key to getting rid of it. Almost like fate equipped the solution within the problem. Suggests that even in the worst situations, hope or way out can emerge from the most unexpected places, even the source of the torment.
It adds this layer of intelligent design to the horror. It's not all just pure chaos. Well put.
So with this critical, kind of shocking info revealed, the story just hurdles us into Act 2, the Venus Gambit. A perilous journey and, crucially, no return.
Right. The scene shifts hard. Brooklyn Museum. And the source material immediately gives you the chaos. Museum alarms blaring.
So it's not a quiet heist.
Not at all. It's a desperate, high-stakes race against time. Ramping up the urgency even more, you can almost hear the frantic running, the shouts echoing.
And in that chaos, the focus narrows onto this Soviet-era probe, the VENERA-ZERO capsule. It's powering up.
And the description emphasizes its history, its tech specs, which is absolutely crucial for what comes next. It was designed for one-way atmospheric entry.
One way. That's grim.
It is. It's not just a convenient plot device. It's loaded with the reality of the sacrifice needed. Immediately signals this is not a round trip, underscoring the absolute gravity of the sister's decision. Success means obliteration.
And Venus, of all places, becomes the weapon. Dr. Volkova steps in again here, right? To explain why Venus, yes, our scientific voice of reason. She explains why Venus's atmosphere is the key. She lays out the conditions. Minus 45 degrees Celsius in the upper clouds.
Minus 45°C. Okay, that's cold.
Extremely cold. And sulfuric acid rain?
Sulfuric acid. Good grief. It's one of the most hostile environments imaginable.
Exactly. And this really raises the question, why Venus specifically? The narrative cleverly uses Venus's known conditions, the extreme cold up high, very different from the scorching surface, and that corrosive acid as the precise counter to the entity's nature.
Its fiery plasma nature.
Right. Volkova explains the mechanism directly. These conditions are the only thing that can crystallize the entity.
Crystallize it. Freeze it solid, essentially.
That's the core scientific justification. Anchoring the fantasy element, the entity, in a plausible though extreme scientific reality. It's a smart use of real planetary science, turning this cosmic horror problem into one of, well, environmental chemistry and thermodynamics, finding the counteragent in nature itself.
Brilliant. And despite this terrifying one-way ticket to acid rain hell, the sisters are resolved.
Unwavering. Emma and Anna, speaking as one, just declare, do it. We'll pilot it together.
Wow. So it's not forced on them. It's their choice. Together.
Exactly. A shared collective decision. Underscoring the incredible strength of their bond, even fused like this. It's a powerful testament to their love, resilience, their willingness to sacrifice everything for the greater good. It's not just about Emma's body anymore. It's a unified mission.
It emphasizes their agency, doesn't it? Even when their bodies are being torn apart, they find this moment of unified decision.
It really does. It elevates their sacrifice from just a tragic necessity to an empowered act of will, driven by that deep connection. This shared resolve is the emotional core of the whole Venus Gambit, the culmination of their struggle for identity, finding freedom in a choice of collective self-annihilation to save others.
Powerful idea. That freedom can be found in sacrifice.
But of course, the entity isn't going down without a fight.
Ah, right. Just as the plan is set, it lashes out.
It does. A desperate counterattack, manifesting its fear in this really terrifying way. Heat clones of Dyatlov hikers.
Dyatlov hikers. Wow, that's specific and creepy. Pulling in that real-world mystery.
Exactly. For anyone listening who doesn't know, the Dyatlov Pass incident is this infamous unsolved mystery from 1959 in the Soviet Union. 9 hikers died under bizarre, terrifying circumstances in extreme cold.
Often linked to strange injuries, fleeing their tents.
Yeah, very unsettling.
So linking the entity's final gasp to that grounds the horror in something tangible, deeply unsettling, makes its desperation even more potent.
And these clones, they're not just standing there.
No, they taunt them, declaring, "You think you'll freeze us? We are eternal fire."
So it's doubling down on its core nature, defiant to the end.
Exactly. A final roar against the cold that threatens it. A last attempt to assert its fundamental identity, like it's saying, "You misunderstand me. I'm not just temperature. I am essence."
But Volkova is ready for this.
She is. Her role as the scientific protector, the strategist, comes through again. She deploys a sonic emitter.
Sonic emitter, how does that work? The narrative suggests it shatters the heat clones, a rapid-fire action, scientific counteraction. Highlights her quick thinking, her preparedness, its precision, not just brute force.
So this little skirmish is important then.
Very. It's the entity's last-ditch effort, showing its power even when cornered. And Volkova's quick counter shows the blend of science and human resilience needed here.
It also shows the entity can still project itself physically, even while contained in Emma.
Right, which makes getting to Venus even more critical. Emphasizes the ongoing danger right up to the last second. It's a reminder this thing is adapting, fighting, and humanity needs to adapt just as quickly.
Okay, so the clones are dealt with, and now, Act 3, launch to oblivion, a cold, bittersweet farewell.
Yeah, the tension is just palpable as the launch sequence starts. The source material hits you with the sounds, the roar of engines, the feeling of G-forces rattling the capsule.
Draws you right into that sensory experience. Loud, violent, disorienting, breaking free of Earth.
And amidst all that physical chaos, as they're rocketing upwards, we get this incredibly emotional farewell between the sisters.
Right. Emma's voice, it says it's fading with the G's.
Yes, and she offers this raw, vulnerable confession. Anna, I'm sorry I couldn't save you from that fire.
Oh, wow. So it reveals this deeper, unresolved trauma from their past, surfacing right at the end.
Exactly. A profound wound defining their relationship. A humanizing moment grounding the cosmic horror in personal tragedy.
And Anna's response.
It's beautiful, comforting, forgiving. She says, "You're saving me now."
That's powerful.
It signifies healing, not just for the past, but the completion of their bond. All the grief, guilt, unspoken history, it culminates in this single exchange. Absolute emotional clarity, catharsis, turning shared trauma into shared redemptive purpose.
The power of forgiveness, even facing death.
And leads to their shared resolve for the final act. When we hit Venus's atmosphere, let go together.
They let go together, so it's conscious, a joint decision to embrace the end.
Yes. Transforms their death from defeat into an act of profound love and liberation, the core of their sacrifice. A final act of agency, underscoring the unique connection forged through shared suffering and ultimately shared purpose. Choosing their end.
So what does this all really mean then thematically? You see this profound shift, right?
Absolutely.
The sisters once trap Emma physically and spiritually. They're now making this conscious, empowered choice, walking hand in hand to their destiny almost.
While the entity...
Yeah, the seemingly all-powerful entity that terrorized them is reduced to just pure panic. It's crying, "No, this cold is worse than death."
That just perfectly captures its ultimate vulnerability. Its true, abject fear of what's coming. It flips the dynamic completely. Shows true power isn't domination, it's agency. Self-determination.
It's a narrative reversal that really underscores the nature of power in this story. The entity's power was fear, destruction, uncontrolled heat.
The sisters' power, born from their bond and sacrifice, comes from embracing the ultimate cold for a greater purpose. The entity's scream isn't just sound. It's its core identity being undone. Its essence threatened by the one thing it can't overcome.
It fears cold more than death itself.
Which is a powerful statement about its nature, its weakness. Shows even seemingly all-powerful things have their Achilles heel, especially against pure, focused will.
And then the Venusian termination begins. The sensory details keep coming. Acid rain hammering hull.
Such a vivid, hostile image. You feel the environment closing in, the capsule struggling. The air itself is a weapon, not a gentle descent at all.
No. And the temperature plummets as they hit those upper clouds, reaching the exact frigid, corrosive layer they needed.
Right. And then that moment of chilling, scientific objectivity cuts through the emotion. The calm, detached computer voice announces.
External temperature, -45 degrees C. Entity plasma crystallization, 95% complete.
Yeah. The undeniable scientific confirmation that the plan is working. A pivotal moment delivered with cold, almost clinical precision. Stark contrast to the emotion right before it.
That technique is really effective, isn't it? Having this huge emotional climax, the sisters and the entity's destruction announced by a machine.
It really is. It underscores the scientific precision of their sacrifice, strips away potential melodrama, highlights the deliberate, calculated nature of their choice and its success, makes it feel like a successful mission, a scientific solution, not just tragedy, aligns with Volkova's pragmatic approach.
A final, almost bureaucratic confirmation of their cosmic win.
And what's fascinating is the elegance of the ending itself. The entity thriving on heat expansion, destroyed by ultimate cold and compression.
Its final scream freezing midair. That auditory detail is incredible, a contradiction that vividly shows its crystallization, its complete destruction.
It's poetic justice via extreme environment, a perfect counterpoint to its fiery origins. The thing that brought unnatural heat is undone by unnatural cold.
And as the entity is obliterated, the sisters have their final passage, a moment of release.
Beautiful and poignant. Anna, the guide, calls out, "Now, Emma, into the light," a beckoning towards peace.
And Emma's response, so tender, human, mom's waiting, with hot chocolate.
Wow.
That simple, warm image of peace, reunion in death, completes her arc beautifully, transforms a terrifying end into a gentle, hopeful transition, returning to a comforting, beloved memory. The ultimate warm thought in a cold ending.
It really is. And the ultimate resolution is delivered with this dramatic, visceral punch. Capsule implosion, ice shards, cosmic silence.
Yeah, absolute finality.
The implosion is total destruction, the ice shards, the physical remnants of the entity's frozen form, and the cosmic silence. That profound stillness after all that chaos. A sense of earned peace. The quiet dignity of their sacrifice.
And the final confirmation comes from Volkova back on Earth. Heartbreaking.
Her radio transmission. Tearful but resolute. Signal lost at 54.5 million kilometers. Entity vitals terminated.
The scientific confirmation of success, but delivered with the raw emotion of the cost. Mission complete, but the weight of their sacrifice is immense, deeply felt. A scientific victory draped in sorrow.
Exactly. That's the moment science collides with the human cost, isn't it? Her tearful confirmation brings it all home. It's a global triumph, yes, but a deep personal tragedy for those who knew them. Seals their fate and the entities in one poignant broadcast. Mission accomplished against impossible odds.
And then the epilogue. The last temperature, as the cosmic silence settles, we're brought back to New York.
The scene shifts completely. Tranquil. Snowfall in Central Park. You hear children laughing in the distance.
Such a stark contrast to the violence and chaos just before. A moment of quiet reflection. Normalcy returning. A gentle re-entry.
And it's here, in this aftermath, that Volkova's narration gives us that crucial reflection on their legacy. She reveals the global impact. Emma and Anna's sacrifice cooled New York.
Cooled New York. Is that symbolic?
Right.
Or literal?
Could be either, or both. Maybe the fear dissipating. Maybe a subtle environmental shift now the entity's gone. Either way, it reinforces the immense scale of their impact, turns a local crisis into a global reprieve.
And the entity's final state.
A beautiful, chilling image. Frozen stardust in Venus's clouds. Inert, scattered, its power neutralized, transformed into something ethereal, harmless,
Right.
a permanent chilling monument to its defeat way out there in space.
But what's truly remarkable, the genius of this ending, is that Volkova doesn't stop there.
No, she adds that final haunting yet comforting line. But sometimes, when radiators hiss, I swear I hear two sisters laughing, warmly.
Ah! Yes. That's the ultimate emotional payoff, the narrative brilliance. It transforms warmth, which was the entity's terror, the threat, into a symbol of the sisters' enduring love, their memory, their sacrifice.
It completes that thermal loop of the story, transforms fear into comfort. A destructive force becomes a gentle, lingering presence, an echo in the everyday world.
It makes you reconsider what true warmth means, not just heat, but love, connection, a legacy that endures.
It's a masterstroke in emotional and thematic resolution. And the sound design helps that distant, warm laughter blending into the outro music. It takes the entity's core identity, heat, warmth, and reclaims it for the heroes.
Yeah.
A profound shift in meaning, suggesting true warmth isn't uncontrolled energy, but love, memory, connection. Leaves you with catharsis, a bittersweet victory. The enduring human spirit transcending cosmic horror.
The monster loses, the hero's sacrifice.
And the ending leaves just enough warmth to haunt, but in the most comforting way. A reminder that even in annihilation, love can persist somehow.
Wow. Okay, so you've just taken a deep dive with us into a narrative exploring the very extremes of temperature and emotion. It reminds us how stories can, well, both chill and warm us at the same time. It's really a testament to how fictional narratives can use precise scientific ideas to ground these extraordinary tales, and how the deepest human connections, that conscious choice of sacrifice, can be the most powerful forces against unimaginable threats.
Yeah.
This story is a powerful reminder that sometimes, maybe, to find true warmth, one must embrace the coldest of ends.
Which really raises an important question for us all, doesn't it? When you're faced with some overwhelming, consuming force in life, what is the ultimate cold maybe the ultimate difficulty or sacrifice that one can embrace for the sake of warmth, for others, for connection, for love.
That's a deep thought.
And thinking about the ending, in what unexpected, maybe profound ways might that resulting warmth echo on? How might it transform something that was once a threat or a pain into maybe a comforting presence, something felt in the quiet, everyday moments of our lives?